Hi everyone, welcome to the weekly reading for the collective for September 4th through the 10th. Guys, I'm so sorry about last week, technical difficulties. So you guys did not get a reading, I'm so sorry, but I did put out the monthly. You guys can't see it because it's off camera, but my beautiful cat Susanna is right next to me. She's so cute, so if you hear any purring, that is my cat. Okay guys, I'm gonna jump right into it. I'm a little off-centered too because she's kind of sitting in the middle here, but guys, same deck. Please like this video. Please share this video with anybody that may need it, may want to hear what the energies have in store for us for the week. And subscribe to the channel if you're not already. And questions, comments, concerns, feedback, let me know if it resonates. Let me know if it doesn't resonate. All down below in the comments. All right, guys, let's get into it. Yeah, let's just get into it. All right, guys. What do we need? Guys, I'm a little off-centered here. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so to the sea. Yay. Okay, so to the sea to me is about, there's another card in this deck. It's called Serendipity. I'm sure you guys have seen it before. This is about flow, or Serendipity is more about like kismet, alignment. I mean, this is too, right? Because the sea is kind of going, to me, it's like going, like we're going into the sea, like we're going into a flow, right? So it's more like flow, even though flow and alignment are pretty much, the same thing. But, and we also have the 7 that's jumping out in that corner, as you can see right up here. Very spiritual number, the number 7, besides 11 and 3. So yeah, so you're going with the, flow. So basically what we need things to flow more, okay? Like straight to the point, guys. So this is, we'll get through obviously the rest of the reading, but we need more flow, we need more alignment, we need things to be a little bit smoother. And to me, and I've said this before to you guys, usually this first card up here is usually the strongest energy for the deck. I'm sorry, not for the deck, for the read, for the spread, for the reading. So I definitely do feel like this is a week that's gonna feel a little bit more, you're going to feel like a little bit more put together. You're going to feel a little bit more like things are in flow, things are in alignment. So that's really great because we need that, right? And so let me go through the rest of the reading and see if we have any more clues about that. But action needed, we have teacher, but we have it in the shadow, manipulating or abusing students, teaching negative traits and destructive skills. Okay, so the fact that it's in the shadow already, I don't love it. Shadow is always there to teach us things. It's usually our egoic side of things, which isn't bad, but we do have a shadow for everything. So for the shadow for the teacher, it's we're not teaching. We're not teaching in a way that enhances people, that lifts people up, that helps people become interdependent and independent, and equips them for the real world. For example, it's kind of like we're keeping them stuck. Okay, that's kind of like the feeling that I'm getting with this. So action needed is kind of a place that we need to reflect, and very curious what the reflect card kind of says under here is what we are, how we are keeping other people stuck. Maybe not us particularly, but like how, I guess the word that's kind of coming up here is enabling. Like, who are we enabling, right? And so because it's under action needed, that something needs to kind of be done about that this week. So if you feel like that you're enabling somebody in your life, it's really going to come to a head. These are very contrasting energies right here. So I'm very curious to see what the rest of the reading has kind of going on, because this feels very not so great. I'll be honest with you, like where, if you have somebody in your life where you're enabling, or they're enabling you, or something like that, and not giving them the proper skills. Or this could also manifest as like being controlling to other people and not letting them learn on their own, like trying to save people, like that kind of thing. That could all manifest from this teacher archetype here, so being in the shadows. So it definitely, we need to really evaluate, and very curious now to see what what comes up with friends here, because it could be with friends groups or family or something like that, where we're just straight up enabling people, or people are enabling us. But I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I am feeling like it's a little chaotic, okay? Because you guys know I read intuitively, obviously. I call it intuitive card reading because it's not just about the cards, it's the feelings and it's the knowings that really come along with it. And my clairvoyance, right? And so I'm definitely in my head, in my movie screen, and seeing like this explosion of some kind. So that always, spirit, anytime I see that when I'm reading, spirit is always telling me that this might kind of blow up in our faces. So action needed is kind of like reversing it or putting it to a stop before it kind of blows up. And so, and obviously for some of us, it's going to be kind of inevitable. You guys know I always tell you guys the truth, so it's not all love, light, unicorns, rainbows, butterflies here, right? Some crap comes up where there's a reason why I love these archetype cards, because they really do call out the shadow side of ourselves. And so some weeks are really, really great. Some weeks, not the best weeks we've ever had. So it's starting to kind of feel like that. Sorry to kind of, just with the second card there, I'm very excited to see the rest of the reading, but I definitely do feel like there's something here with enabling somebody enabling you, not allowing somebody to fly or make their own mistakes or be on their own or something like that. It's going to kind of explode or come to some type of head this week, okay? So sorry I spent a lot of time on that, but that's actually a really complicated one for the second one there. So let's just see what else is coming up. Does anybody see a green theme here? Issue. So Earth Guardian, stay rooted and grounded. Okay, so we're just going to have an issue this week, just staying grounded. For all my spiritual people out there, all my empaths, you guys know that, that's a natural problem. That's like an everyday problem for us. So definitely being grounded, I would say, not so much being so much in the logical, but being able to see things as a reality, as what they actually are, instead of maybe overthinking or letting our feelings and our thoughts kind of run away with a narrative that isn't true. So definitely stay rooted and grounded, and that would definitely come in handy with this situation kind of coming up here, okay? Surprise. Go now. Okay, so this is about urgency. This is about doing the damn thing. So definitely, as far as the surprise goes, I think a lot of you guys are gonna surprise yourselves and do something, maybe the word isn't spontaneously, but doing things without a lot of thought. And I actually, I know sometimes that comes up with, there's a card in one of these decks called, I think it's called Waiting for the Oracle, and basically it's waiting for important information. And so that's always about like waiting for all of the facts, all of the information before making an educated decision. That feels more of the aligned way, but it hasn't come up yet. Maybe it will come up, I don't know. But what I'm getting here is that actually more spontaneous, or not overthinking so much coming from here, right? Just making the decision kind of right away, or just doing the damn thing like right away. So basically cutting out procrastination is really what it is. So it's just about kind of like doing it and getting it done. So I definitely do feel like it's a surprise, but in a positive way, like we finally get something done without like overthinking it. I see this for like a lot of you guys, like just maybe something that you've been just overthinking for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and then you finally just do it, and it's obvious. Guys, it's always, the fear comes from the anticipation, right? It's never really the actual thing. It's really the anticipation of the thing. So I really do feel like, again, that's a really positive thing, because you just kind of go ahead and do it. Challenge, a change in the wind. Change. This is always just about change. So, yeah, guys, change is hard, obviously. So I see this has some change energy. Obviously, this has some change energy. But coming from this one here, where it's saying that we're getting more into flow, more into alignment, and that's definitely what we need, that makes me happy, because guys, if we're on a misaligned path, we need to change to an aligned path, okay? And so if we're kind of going in one direction and it's not working, we have to switch to the other direction to feel more in flow, right? So if we're constantly going in path A, which is always about, you keep forcing obstacle after obstacle after obstacle, it doesn't feel good anymore. You need to change to path B. So I'm very happy that we actually have a change card here in this deck. And yes, it'll be challenging, but I do feel like this corner here is just like, it's giving me like positive vibes, basically. So again, I do feel like, yeah, it is challenging, but it's a positive thing, because remember, this first card here, where it's setting us up for the rest of this reading, is like, we need to get more into flow. We need to get to more in alignment. So I think you guys will be switching. Obviously, maybe it'll take more than a week, but at least you'll be feeling the energy of wanting to make that switch from that misaligned path to that aligned path, okay? Hopefully that makes sense for you guys. What do we focus on? We have athlete, misuse of athletic ability for selfish ends, false sense of invulnerability and entitlement. Okay, so to me, athlete is always about willpower. That word always comes up, personal willpower. Sometimes fame kind of comes with this. So the fact that it's in shadow, it's telling me that we're misusing our, I guess I do want to say, I do like false sense of entitlement, because it's almost like we are, God, this is a tough one to explain. Do I want to say prowess? I think I kind of do. We're misusing our what makes us great. That's a good way to kind of put what I'm trying to say. It's like we're not focusing what we're good at, what our good, like what our skills are as far as willpower, endurance, what we can go the distance with, and we're not doing that. And so Spirit is asking for us to kind of focus on that, to see where we're not going the distance with something, but also too, with that other side of what the athlete is we might feel like there might be like a level of entitlement with it. Guys, sorry that's not super clear, but I think what we need to take from that is basically we're not focusing, and it's time to start focusing on what makes us great, what gives us our endurance, what gives us our willpower, and move into that direction. Like how could we be the greatest without having that sense of entitlement? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. But it does, I know it's not under reflect, but it definitely is coming off that way, that's something that we kind of need to reflect on, because I'm not necessarily getting because this focus is usually more like action oriented, but it doesn't necessarily feel like that. So I'm going to pull what the reflect is to see if it's similar. No, it's not similar. So wow, there's a lot of contrasting energy, especially with these archetype cards, which is interesting. It's almost like there's two sides of us. It's like our soul wants us to go more into this alignment part of things, but our egos are kind of getting in the way. That's how it just feels to me, because as you can see, these two are in the shadow. I know I put them upright, but when I pulled them, they were definitely in the shadow. So I just don't want to make it confusing, and it'll be easy to read for you guys. But it's almost like we're standing in our own way. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting, because now with this reflect, it says retreat and recharge, and that is really about going within. So yes, reflecting on this for sure, but it's almost like I'd be shocked if we got any balance cards for this reading, because it feels really imbalanced, it feels very not integrated. So basically, time out. This isn't any under any category here. This is very interesting. You guys know I don't act like this during I don't typically read this way, but I just have to say these contrasting energies are kind of making me a little nervous. Maybe nervous isn't the word, but it's so obvious to me now that there's this contrast of our soul versus ego this week, okay? So our soul really wants us to move forward and go towards flow, go towards alignment, but the way that we're acting and the way that we are allowing our ego to kind of get in the way is really, really pulling us and holding us back, okay? So reflect, the hermit, retreat, and recharge. If you can, try to get as silent as possible. And I know I kind of say that, there's pause cards in here. There's self-care stuff that comes up, but this is for real, because this is not that they weren't for real before, but this is really saying like you need to get quiet so you can understand where your soul begins and where your ego ends, and try to integrate it as best as you can, because it just feels like it's very conflicting energy. So I wouldn't be surprised, not even like not being confused this week, but like contradicting energy, that you want something, you desire something like from a soul level, and then you end up self-sabotaging or doing the complete opposite of what you actually truly want. So there is going to be conflicting energy, guys, and this is what I'd like to say is we're kind of being our own worst enemy this week. It's not about other people. So very interesting. Let me keep going to see what else we have kind of going on, but I hope you guys understand what I'm saying so far. Responsibilities, fertility is always about birth. So the birth of something new. So to me, that kind of says our only responsibilities this week is to make sure that we're birthing something new, we're bringing something new into the world. And this could be a creative project. This could be, to me, when I think of a rebirth, I think of the spiritual awakening process, right? Because the awakening process to me is just bringing us back to home. So an awakening process is a healing journey, right? The hero's journey, however you want to categorize it. It's all, don't make it super complicated. But that journey is always coming back to yourself, coming back to home. And so to me, it always feels like a rebirth because you're being reborn. And so that's kind of how I'm associating it, but this could also be more specific as far as like a creative project. This could be literal, even though Spirit doesn't usually give me pregnancy answers or hints or anything like that, but this could be taking care of a newborn, or taking care of your actual home, your physical home, which is your body, and making sure it's like, if you're trying to conceive and that kind of thing. So, but I definitely do feel like, somebody over here, I do not want to conceive. I'm not, thinking about anything like that. To me, I'm taking this as, how it resonates with me is the rebirth of my new self, which I feel like I'm kind of getting there after my health issues, like that kind of thing, after the healing journey that I have been on. So, and the response, because it's under responsibilities, it's like we have to kind of like take care and nurture that part of ourselves. So hopefully that makes sense for you guys. Okay, money, finances, and career, higher power. Okay, so this is about let go, let God. Okay, so money, finances, career. This is, and I love that we have the 4 here. That's always about foundation. That's angelic energy as well. So this is really a Spirit asking us or telling us basically like, don't worry, the universe has your back. Don't worry, it's not necessarily the week to worry about money. Obviously, not trying to invalidate anybody's experience or feelings or anything like that. Money is a big, trigger topic. It's an issue for a lot of people, especially if you live in the United States. But Spirit is saying like, okay, a lot of this stuff is really going to just be like, trust that everything will be taken care of, because it's not the week that, you're really going to be worrying about money, finances, and career, because it's obviously everything I've been reading so far is about, personal journey, personal development. So you have a lot, like it's more of like a internal, spiritual, introspective type week, versus, hustling and making money, like that kind of thing. So there's not too much that you have to do there. This is just really, more focused on you personally, if that makes sense. Let's look at the change, since we got the change here, a change in the wind. Messiah, this one is upright, serving humanity with humility. Okay, great. So that's the change, right? Okay, so Messiah, again, I'll read it. Serving humanity with humility. Love the humility because of the entitlement that kind of came up over here. So I definitely do feel like you guys turn it around pretty fast. So I'm thinking like maybe around, I never really specifically do this, but maybe, around like Wednesday or Thursday, we're going to start feeling like the change a little bit. Like we're kind of sick of our own crap. Because let me tell you guys, I know you guys, and I know I read for the collective, and not everybody out there would, maybe consider resonate with the term being empathic or anything like that, or aware, or even spiritually, there's kind of like a spectrum there. But you know when you're not being yourself, when you're too in your ego. You know when you're too into that, when you're too entitled, when, you know, I think for everybody we have a breaking, you know, for each of us we kind of have like a breaking point of being like, okay, I'm not being myself, I'm not being kind, I'm not serving my highest self, like that kind of thing. So I definitely do feel like, you know, we do kind of change a little bit midweek. Again, this is for the general population, for the collective, so it's not going to be for everybody, but for the majority of us, we really are going to pretty much call ourselves on our own stuff, our own crap, and be able to kind of like turn it around. And so that's the change, and that's really great. So I don't think we're going to be our, do I want to say horrible selves for too long this week. Friends, we have take charge with authority. Okay, so lots of masculine leadership coming through here, which is very interesting. Taking the lead with friends groups. So I see like a lot of you guys doing a lot of planning, planning with family members, like that kind of thing. That might coincide with the surprise, where it's just kind of like you know, you don't have time to really like reflect on it, you just do it. You know, to second guess or whatever, you know, you just go ahead and do it. So I definitely do feel like a headstrong type energy coming through with this take charge with authority. But otherwise, oh, my cat is trying to get in the frame. Sorry. Hold on, let me put her down. Okay. She likes jumping on the table, but okay, so I would say our friends are good. It just seems like there's going to be a lot on your plate, but you can handle it, I feel like. And so a lot of the planning and stuff like that is going to be on you. Romantic connection, let it go. Okay, not the greatest that it's under romantic connection, but this doesn't necessarily have to be physical or environmental, meaning like doesn't necessarily mean breakups for some of you guys, potentially. But to me, it's about surrender, right? And so kind of like letting something go. So whether that's anger, whether that's guilt, whether that's shame, you know, all of those really low vibrational type energies and emotions. And this could mean for my single people out there being a better dater because you let things go a lot better. So you don't take anything personally too much, take things personally too much, that kind of thing. So I see it as a positive thing. Even though letting go is so super hard to do, you don't have to tell me twice, that's for sure. What's important? Regeneration. Ooh, love this card. This is always about growing back after a rebirth, okay? So I love that it's underneath the fertility card here. Responsibility is important. Know that you can rebuild. Know that you can regenerate. Know that you can come back after, again, a healing journey, a spiritual awakening, hero's journey, whatever you want to call it. But you can grow things back, and you will. Things will grow back, and they'll grow back identical or better, basically, is what the regeneration is, which is great. And we kind of already know that, right? Usually when the universe does something to us, I know could be very horrible, but usually it's to, we come back even stronger. What is that crazy, funny saying? The comeback is always bigger than the setback. Is that right? Something like that. Okay, so health and wellness. Rescuer. Funny that I say that, right? Because up here I was talking about this energy. If we're not being the proper teacher, where we're not, we're misguiding people, we're trying to interrupt their karma, we're trying to save them. Okay, we have the rescuer, we have provide strength and support to others in crisis, acts out of love with no expectation of reward. Love that it's conflicting here, because like I said, somewhere in here, like it's making me feel like, and at the change, is that we're realizing these kind of toxic behaviors that we're having with the athlete, with the teacher, like that kind of thing. So we recognize how our egos are holding us back, keeping us small, that kind of thing. And so keeping us stuck. So the fact that it's in the light is great, because you can be the rescuer, but like without interrupting people's karma or doing it in a way where your ego is involved, right? And that's good for your it's under health and wellness. So it's good for your mental health. It's good for it's good for everybody involved, basically. Okay, overall outcome, what do we have? We have sage, be devoted and committed. Okay, so this is really about commitment, devotion. So this is about kind of staying the course. So it's interesting week, guys. I know I say that a lot. I know I say the word interesting a lot, but I gotta tell you, these really kind of mess with me. But it has to be messy because of this card here, to the sea, because this is saying this is what we need. We need more flow, we need more alignment, and to do that, we obviously, the fact that we need it means that we're not, right? That we feel misaligned, that we're not necessarily on the path. So things have to shake up and change, okay, for us to do that. And so it's when that happens, when you are moving to a more aligned place from a misaligned place, it's going to get a little chaotic and messy. And that's what I feel like for this week. And so here's the thing. I don't feel like it's horrible. Like it's hard to, I wish my vocabulary was a little bit better. Sorry guys, my not the best brain health. I'm still kind of like healing, but I think what I'm trying to say is it's all for your greatest and highest good. That's really what I'm trying to say, is that the horrible things that happen to us, and like I said, I don't feel like it's like super horrible. It's just, it's a little chaotic. It's a little, it's a little messy, okay? But you're committed to the path, right? You're committed to that flow and that alignment. So, and you'll get there. It's just like this week, it's kind of like, battling the soul versus the ego kind of stuff going on there, and starting to be more soul-centered and be more soul-driven, basically. That's what I feel like. We're going back to a place of like driving from the soul and not driving from the ego, if that makes sense. So, okay, guys. So a lot of interesting points here. I'm just going to say Godspeed. Godspeed. Good luck. No, you don't need luck. This is all divinely guided. So the universe always has your back. So guys, have a wonderful week. I'm very interested to come back and see what next week has in store, but let me know below if any of this resonates, feedback, comments, all the gist. All right, guys, have a wonderful week, okay?